Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sacha Om Ajnanathmirandhasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Abhishta Shapurakam Guru Ganaya Ashisha Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samstavedanapunam Shri Rupa Panthanagam Govindabhidam Ujjalam Varatanam Bhaktianvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavat Premno Hibij Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandravadanam Balarkachalanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadekvarnam Vairagyavidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhantanidhim Subhaktilasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandaitam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nasisaram Sridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividitau Gauriya Gurvanvai Bhata Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Gaura Sankirtanai Mayavadatamingilo Daragatan Udhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prem Sudabdigahan Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaji Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gaurangra Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhavam Nishevine Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sharupagam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharas Sudhanadim Gaura Vrajashita Shaira Vaishnaveira Vanda Vigraham Jagannath Prabhum Vande Premabdham Mudda Vaishnavam Vancha Kalpataru Bhayascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayocha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Dandat Pranam, Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the exalted Vaishnavas, servitors, devotees tuning in. Welcome to our Friday evening Sangha, and also to sincere seekers, our well-wishers, our friends. We're happy to welcome you. I have Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu with me. Let me bring him on. Dandat Pranam and welcome Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu.
Dandat Prabhuji.
So I spoke with Anil ji, not spoke, but I conversed with him via text, and he said he will be joining, so he'll join as we continue. So we were reading from Religion of the Heart, and we are going to begin chapter 3 today. This is by Om Vishnupad, His Divine Grace, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj. Chapter 3, Evidence of the Conception of a Personal God in the Scriptures of India. Oh, and also Arun Prabhu, Madhav Prabhu just joined our Facebook, and he's like saying Dandot Pranam. So Dandot Pranam to you, Madhav Prabhu. Welcome.
And what's to him also from my side.
So I'll start reading. This is Gurudev. Where is the evidence of a personal conception of God in the scriptures of India? Mahaprabhu said, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the proof and evidence of this conception. Srimad Bhagavatam contains the gist of all the Vedas, and its 18,000 shlokas are spotlessly pure and unalloyed. Therefore, it is given more honor than any other scripture. The third shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the tree of Vedic literature and Vedic knowledge. If we try to realize the meaning of this verse, we will realize Nigama means the Vedas. Kalpataror means a wish-fulfilling tree. And Galitam Phalam means a delicious and fully ripe fruit, without the skin or seed, and which is extremely palatable and enjoyable, like condensed ecstasy.
Prabhuji,
Yes, sir.
this word Galitam Phalam, when I thought about it, it reminded me of totally ripe mango in the summers in India. That is Galitam Phalam. Just, it has that texture that's totally ripe, can't be any more ripe than that. And there is you don't even need teeth to consume it.
It is so wonderful, and especially, we being from India, we've had mango tree in our yard when we were growing up in Bengali market. And you also know, you're from there also, but so when after bore, then it just completely fills up with the fruit, and then which ones are the ripe ones, because the parrots, they come and they take little pieces of the best ones.
Yeah.
So then you climb up, and then you get them. So it's a festival. And it's a perfect example. I think here also, and any place where they have farms, and they have trees, and they can understand what it is to have that tasty fruit, which is ripened, and then you can go pick it. Okay, back to Gurudev. And the knowledge given in the Srimad Bhagavatam is made even sweeter because it comes through the mouth of Dev-Goswāmī, the son of Ved-Vyas. Ved-Vyas was searching for a disciple who could express transcendental knowledge, so he chose Shukdev Goswami. Because Shukdev Goswami was qualified to receive transcendental knowledge, that is, he is always situated in the plane of such knowledge. Parinishtitopi nairgunya uttam shloka leelaya grahita chetarajarshe akyanam yadaditavan. Krishna, the supreme controller and original source. The Lord has many forms. He has manifested himself as Dwarkesh, Mathuresh and Gopeshwar. He has many different manifestations and forms. From his first expansion, which is Baladev, come Vasudev, Sankarshana, Aniruddha and Pradyumna. And a little lower, Narayan. From Narayan, there are various manifestations. Gunavatar, Leelavatar, Shaktyavesha Avatar, etc. Many avatars come from Narayan, and they are all manifestations of Lord Krishna. But it is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. The different manifestations are Ishvara, but the Parameshwar is Krishna. He is Anadiradira Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, the original one, the cause of all causes. Welcome Anilji, namaskar.
correction of the mistake.
So the next section, back to Gurudev, is no cheating religion. Mahaprabhu said, the Srimad Bhagavatam contains the gist of the Vedic knowledge. The Srimad Bhagavatam is pramanam amalam, which means its evidence, its proof, and its statements are all pure and unalloyed. There are no alloys mixed with the statements of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Amalam means unalloyed. The Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, verse number 2 itself states, Dharmah projit kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni krate kim va parairishvara Sadhya hridya varuddhate atra kritibhi shushubhis tatakshanat. Kaitava means cheating. There is no cheating in the religion given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Once Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami told me I was cheating my stomach. When I was staying with him in Kolkata, I used to study the Bhagavad Gita from him in the morning. Sometimes he would ask me if I had taken breakfast, and when I would answer yes, he would say, "What did you have?" When I would answer muri, puffed rice, he would say, "Oh, you are simply cheating your stomach." Religion can also cheat us. My stomach may be full of some religious conception, but it is being cheated. It is possible religion can fully exist in our body, but in a cheating way. It may be possible we are being cheated of the real substance. Sadhus have a variety of different qualities. But extremely good sadhus are paramo nirmatsaranam. They are not envious or jealous of anyone. Matsaranam means enviousness. Matsarja. It is a very bad quality. Many sadhus have matsaranam. The Bhagavatam says, there is no possibility of matsaranam in the knowledge I am giving. This is a unique type of knowledge. It is free of matsaranam. How will one get the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam? So before we just quick pause here, we go forward. Gurudev, basically what he is saying here is, it is possible to be a good sadhu and be envious. But he's saying Bhagavatam, right at the outset says, it is not for those kind of sadhus. Even it is for those sadhus in specific who are completely washed clean of envy. Matsarana. Back to Gurudev. How will one get the knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Sadhya hridya varuddhate atra kritivih shushubhis tatak chanat. If one is fully surrendered and has a good service mood, he will immediately get this knowledge. Tatakchanat. If one is fully surrendered and does not mix with any bad qualities, he will get transcendental knowledge. But the first condition is one must be a sadhu. A sadhu means one who is honest and saintly. A sadhu is not one who just wears a saffron cloth. Saffron cloth is a symbol of Vedic identification. A deer hunter may be a sadhu if he is not envious and surrendered to Krishna. Another good quality of a sadhu is that his heart is always hankering for the service of Krishna. If one has these qualities, he will get the transcendental knowledge given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu said, Srimad Bhagavatam pramanam amalam. The knowledge which is revealed in the Srimad Bhagavatam is spotlessly pure. And it is the ripened fruit of all the Vedas, and that fruit is love for Krishna or Krishna Prem. The English word love cannot fully express the real meaning of prem as given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But it is the only equivalent word we have heard in the English language. As conditioned souls, we do not know what prem is, and we do not know how to properly express it. Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī, the highest cultural representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has written many beautiful expressions about prem. But the word love is not sufficient to express the ideas he has written about. For example, he says, Pīdābhir navakala kūta garvasya nirvāsano nisyandena mudam sudha madhurima ahankara sankochana prema sundari nandanandana paro jagrati yasyantare jayante spuratam asya vakramadurasa tainaiva vikrantaya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. Once you get love for Krishna, you cannot live without it for a moment, or you will die. The ecstatic feelings you experience in union with Krishna are inconceivable. Krishna Prem transcends all other types of ecstatic beauty and tastes. Nothing surpasses it. Whoever has a touch of Krishna Prem cannot live without it. If he was to leave it, he could not conceive of the pain of separation. It is stronger than a cobra's poison. The burning sensation that comes from a cobra's poison is nothing compared to the feelings of separation from Krishna. That pīda is navakala kūt garavasya nirvāsano. Navakala kūt. Hare Krishna. Expressions of divine love. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given many beautiful expressions regarding the sweet sound of Krishna's flute, his beautiful, charming and all-attractive personality, as well as the sweet association of chanting and dancing with him. Vamshi Ganamrita Dham Lavanyamrita Jana Sthan Ye na dekh se Chandavadana Se nayne ki vaaj khaj Padukatara munde vaaj Se nayna rahe ki karan. Of what use are eyes if one does not see the face of Krishna, which resembles the moon and is the birthplace of all beauty and the reservoir of the nectarian songs of his flute. Krishnera madhuravani amritera tarangini tara pravesha nahi ye shravane kana kadi chidra sama jani se shravana tara janma hila akarane. Topics about Krishna are like waves of nectar. If such nectar does not enter one's ear, the ear is no better than the whole of a damaged conch shell. Welcome Nandarani ji, namaskar. मृगमदनी लोत्पल मिलने ये परिमल ये हरे तार गर्वमान हेन कृष्णांगगंध यार नाही से संबंध से नासा भस्त्रार saman. One's nostrils are no better than the bellows of a blacksmith if he has not smelled the fragrance of Krishna's body, which is like the aroma of musk combined with that of the bluish lotus flower. Indeed, such combinations are actually defeated by the aroma of Krishna's body. Mahaprabhu showed these ecstatic symptoms of love of Godhead when he was mad with Krishna Prem. He could not live 1 second without Krishna. He was always fainting. When he regained consciousness, he would again madly search for Krishna. Next section reads, Revelation by hearing. All these things have been expressed in Bengali or Sanskrit in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but the language in which they appear is not the vital factor. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami declares that you do not need to know Bengali, Sanskrit, or any language in order to understand the expressions of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. You only need to hear them. Their meanings will reveal themselves in your heart simply by hearing. The Vedanta is a good example of this. Who knows the meaning of the Vedanta? No one. When we initiate students, we give them various mantras like the Guru Mantra, the Gayatri Mantra, the Krishna Mantra, etc. The students do not know the meaning of these mantras, and it is not necessary to know the meaning. If one meditates on these mantras, their meaning will reveal themselves in one's heart. Just a quick pause here. Gurudev is telling us, pretty much in simple language, that what we're dealing with is live substance. So it will reveal itself. It's not mundane knowledge on crutches. It's live. Back to Gurudev. One day, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was a little disturbed by others who were criticizing him for using so many Sanskrit verses. So he said, Ye ba nahi buje keha, shunite shunite seha, ki adbhuta chaitanya charita, Krishne upajive priti, janibe rasera riti, shunilei bada hoya hita. How will those who do not know Bengali or Sanskrit understand the meanings of the verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then he advised, just try and hear the transcendental sound of the verses. Take them into your heart. They will reveal themselves automatically and you will see everything. They are not dead matter, but a living substance. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. I did not read this, but I felt that that is what Gurudev is saying. The transcendental sound vibration is also a living entity. You can feel it and you can see it. Yeva nahi buje keha, shunite shunite seha. Even if one does not know the language, he will understand the subject matter simply by hearing the verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita attentively. When Radharani heard the name of Krishna, she said, Sai keva shunile shamanam karane bhitaradiya marame pashilago akula karila mora pran na jani kateka madhu shamaname achego वदन चरिते ना ही पारे जपिते जपिते नाम अवश्य करी लगो के मने पाइबे सही तारे नामे परतापे यार आई चन कर लगो अंगेर परशे की वाहय ये खाने बसती तार नयने देखी आगो युवती धर्म कई छे राय पाशरीते करी मने पशारनायागो की करिबा की हबे उपाय कहे द्विज चंडिदासे कुलवती कुलनाशे आपनार यौवन बाचाया. I don't know who these two syllables Krishna. I don't know who said these two syllables Krishna, but when they entered my heart, my whole body became intoxicated with that name. I do not know whose name it is, and I do not know how sweet it is, but I need that association. Radharani became mad with the name of Krishna, and Chandidas has expressed this in his poetry. Transcendental transmission is the next section. Transcendental knowledge exists everywhere. It is like ether. Ether exists everywhere, but we cannot see it. Transcendental knowledge or Krishna consciousness exists in everyone's heart. Krishna is in everyone's heart. A Mahabhagavad devotee can see Krishna's full manifestation everywhere. Yaha yaha netre pare taha Krishna's pure. A Mahabhagavat will see Krishna everywhere he looks. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Mahārāj, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj were like this. The transmission of transcendental knowledge from one's heart to another is possible. We can understand this if we take the example of a radio or television set. What is inside these machines? Electronic components, transistors, tubes, and other material elements. Electricity is a material element and it is also present. When everything is properly adjusted and the electrical current is made to flow, the television set will work. It will give sound, picture, and everything. If such transmission is possible in this mundane world through electricity, then where there is transcendental knowledge, that transcendental knowledge can also certainly appear. It is only necessary to make our hearts like a radio or a television receiver.
Prabhuji, The example Gurudev is giving, if one thinks about it, it will allow us to understand the limitation of our conception of reality or non-reality, imagination. Because most of the humans really think what is perceived through my bodily senses, or whatever information that I have gathered, that is the sense of reality. Anything beyond that, that I have not yet experienced, is fantasy. And it is fantasy now, and it will be fantasy in future. But the example that Gurudev is giving is so important, because I have met many people from the villages. I'm that old, I can say, who um, who had never seen a television, and they thought it is not possible to see a person talking. Certainly, they have never seen a video conversation either, that you could be talking to somebody else or seeing something live and interacting with it. Radio was a novelty. And I'm told by those people, my uncle's great-grandfathers, that when they first saw a movie, they were scared. And I remember some of the movies, the movie started with a steam engine rolling in. And I'm told people were scared to death as if a steam engine is really coming on them. Because, and similarly, the transcendental knowledge that our Guru Word is conveying, that is coming from higher up. I feel like I'm one of those old people who had a notion that thought it is impossible, or the thought is very foreign to say there is something higher and you can experience it. And to me, this should give us some faith, and it should also force us to inquire our own belief systems, that these are not rigid. There is a reality which is much bigger than possibly what we believe in today. As a materialist, as an ordinary human being, I think we should not think that I'm complete and I know everything and nothing else can exist beyond what I know. It has been proven wrong if only we are willing to listen to other people.
Jai.
Particularly with experience.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
So our Gurudev are such great instructors. My Vandana that they are.
Hare Krishna. Just since you brought it up, the entire Bhagavad Gita, when Sanjay is relating it to Dhritarashtra, he has been awarded Divya Drishti, as if a multi-camera setup has been put in the battlefield and it is being streamed live from the battlefield with sound to him, so that he can be by Dhritarashtra and tell him as it happens. So it's a live telecast. And we talk about advancement.
I can recount a personal experience, so we have heard about Sanjay and his Bhagavad Gita, the way he is witnessing, and it looks fantastic. Yet at the same time, when you meet people who have some siddhi, and I happen to meet a person who had this siddhi, and I was amazed. Because as I am talking to him on phone, he is describing to me what I am seeing through my eyes, the sight in front of my eyes. And after experiencing it myself, विश्वास दृढ़ हो जाता है, and then not only विश्वास दृढ़ हो जाता है, but it gives more strength for us to accept what is real, and that has been given in our scriptures.
Jai.
Thanks, Prabhuji, for sharing that incident, right? Which actually solidifies our belief in what we are doing right now.
Jai. So this section we'll read, it's the section reads, living substance. This is Gurudev. Guru Mahārāj said, everything exists in consciousness. We have a transcendental body and a transcendental form. So if we have such a body, why can't transcendental knowledge reveal itself in our heart? It can, and we can feel it. We can see transcendental knowledge. It is a living entity, a living substance. It is only necessary to adjust ourselves like a receiver or a television set, and then transcendental knowledge will reveal itself in our hearts. Once Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked if he had seen Krishna. His reply was, what benefit will you get by knowing whether I have seen Krishna or not? How will that benefit you? I can show you Krishna, but you must make your heart like a receiver by doing what I tell you. It is not important to know whether I have seen Krishna or not. If you want to know Krishna, and if you come through the proper channel, you will see him. This was the answer given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Mahaprabhu said, this is real Krishna consciousness, or the full-fledged theism of the Jiva soul. We must try and get it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given a very nice expression. Tani anite vrakshae karkashamana nashilaihara shobhasuna sadhujana tomara sakalehaoe vriksheramali shraddhavari diya puna kara rupashali. I brought a wish-fulfilling tree, the Kalyana Kalpataru, down to this world from the spiritual sky. As I was bringing it down, it lost some of its beauty. But if you water it, take care of it, and give it good nourishment, it will reveal itself in your heart. This is the Benedictine tree of divine aspiration. Next section reads, sacrifice, service, dedication. Mahaprabhu delivered transcendental knowledge to the conditioned souls in order to rescue them from the illusory environment and to give them their real service life, which is a life full of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, real liberation is muktir haitavannatha rupam sarupena muktir hitavannatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. It is more than simply liberation from the material world. Real mukti is when we get a life of complete and full service in the service world. There are three planes of existence: the plane of exploitation, the plane of renunciation, and the plane of dedication. We need to go to the plane of dedication and leave the plane of exploitation. The plane of renunciation is also not a suitable place to exist. There is nothing there except equilibrium and non-differentiation. The plane of dedication is necessary, and it is the most important plane for us. We need to go there. We need to sacrifice ourselves there. All the Vedic mantras say we must sacrifice ourselves in the plane of dedication. In the Vedic mantra, Swaha means first dedicate yourself. See to your own self first. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Atmaiva hayatmano bandhur atmaiva riparatmana. The mind is the conditioned soul's best friend or his worst enemy. We must see to our own self first. Charity begins at home. Since we live in this illusory environment, we cannot see Krishna, his devotees, his glories, his dham, his pastimes, or his name and fame. We cannot see anything of Krishna in this environment because our eyes are covered by illusion. First, it is necessary to clean our mirror, and then we can see our figure in the mirror. Mahaprabhu said, Chaito darpana marjanam. What should you do first? When you return home after a long trip, there must be dust in your room. So first clean your room. When you first get Krishna consciousness, try and clean the mirror of your mind. Chaito darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagini nirvapanam. Then you will see your position. You will see what is happening in your mental and physical position. Clean up everything, and then you will see Mahaprabhu's conception, which is expressed in the shlok by Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Aradhyau Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajvadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matam Idam Tatradarana Para. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki Jai. All these big pundits and so-called religionists in India, when you consult them about the do's and don'ts and intricacies of rituals, so they consult Manu Samhita, and then they go, according to Manu Samhita, this is prescribed for you. By your varna and by your ashram, you must do this, you must do that. But the same literature, Manu Samhita, it does present all of that. It does present do's, don'ts, religious law. At the same time, while giving this outer form, it does say that if you're looking for inner substance, yes, we will give you, but if you're looking for inner substance, the outer form we'll give you. No problem. But if you're looking for real substance, hridyena abhyanugato yo dharmastam nibodhata. Follow that dharma that you find in the heart of a real devotee. And that is transmitted, that religion is transmitted heart to heart. That is real religion of the heart. And that is Manu Samhita of all Samhitas. Manu Samhita, that is so hard, establishing the law, religious law. It says, Hriddena abhyanugato, yo dharmastam nibodhata. Real religion is that which is in the heart of the devotee, and it is transmitted heart to heart. Don't try to look for real religion in Manu Samhita. I find that very beautiful. I think Param Guru Mahārāj once quoted that. But it is there. So we are after the real substance, living substance. Outer form, yes, we accept and it is there. We don't deny. But we know that it is the living substance. So, yes, Arun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I recall reading in one of our school textbooks, and thereafter I also recall reading it at least 2 times in other books, where some seekers in England, after the Second World War, go to their clergy and asking for, so if, where can I find real God? Where can I find reality? Where can I find the divinity or access to that? And it's amazing, at least in my days, the textbooks still had that honest reference to that, some book thing. And the clergy responded, if you're really looking for divine connection, there is only one place, and you go to India, and that is where divinity exists, this earth. And this is a reference to the of 1940s. And I repeatedly found this in 3 independent writings, where to the true seekers, no matter whether, even if they're outside India, people who knew the reality, the truth, they would direct those people to say, go to India. And implied in that was, don't look at the form, look at the substance that is available there.
Hare Krishna. Namaskar Sangeeta ji, welcome. Theism, if you, just the word theism, if you try and see it, it'll always, popular search engines and, various other resources if you try. So it'll say the belief, it'll start out with the statement and explaining it. The belief that this. But factually, theism does not start with blind faith. It starts with careful inquiry, a search. The search for Sri Krishna, reality, the beautiful, Krishna Anusandhan. So, in from the point of view of full-fledged theism, even what the world tries to define as theism, there is a problem. So first you believe, then everything else. So no. Before that, You be sincere. And search. So in good traditions, it is always said, seek and ye shall find. Right? Ask and ye shall receive. It's not like believe and you shall get it. No. So it doesn't work like that. So that is why we are, we worship our Guru Varga. And like Govinda Mahārāj, every word that he says is like to be carefully considered. He is not just metaphorically saying that it is living. This is not fancy language. It is exactly what he has said. And he has the power to show it. Hare Krishna. Jai Gurudev. I respect everyone. I have everything for everyone, but my head exclusively rests at his lotus feet. So, excuse me. Hare Krishna. If you give me a second, I will try and see if... Oh, I see in the background. So, no? Nobody's available? Let me get some help here.
In the figment of your imagination. Papa, should I do both? Where's Karthik? Karthik is still gone, right? I'll do both.
What are you for?
That's so cool. Can I use this one?
Same way.
That's cool. I know, but just in case we run into problems. I forgot this. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Namami Sharam Satchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Viyolukha Labdhavamanam Paramrishtam Matyan Tato Dutta Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rejantam Karamboja Yugmen Satankanetram Muhurshvasa Patire Kanka Kanta Stitagrevam Damodaram Bhakti Badham Iti Dhiksalila Bhir Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam Tadiyashitageshu Bhaktirjitatam Paramrishtam Matyan Drutta Gopya Varam Deva Moksham Na Mokshavadim Va Nachanam Reneham Vareshadapiha idante vapurnatha gopala balam sada me manasya virashtam ke manye idante mukham bojam avyakta niler ritam kuntale snigdha rakteshcha gopya muhushcham betam bimba raktadaram me manasya avirashtam alam lakshe labhe Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhu Dukha Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Drishti Vrishati Dinam Bhatanu Grihanesha Mamagya Medhe Akshidrishya Kuveratmajo Baddha Murtaiva Yadvat Tvaya mochita bhakti bhajao krita Tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha Namokshe grahu me sthidamodareha Namaste sudamne spuratipti damne Tadiyo darayatha vishwasadamne Namo Radhikaya Tadiyai Priyayai Namo Nanta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam Namami Shwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Mahārāja Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Madana
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jayarupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath
Ayarupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Ichhai Gosai Kori Charana Vandan
Echai Gosai Kori Tarana Bandhana
Jaha Hoite Vignana Shabishta Puran
Jahote Vignana Shabishta Puran
Ichhai Gosai Jarmu Itaradas
Echai Gosai Dharmu Itaradas
Tasabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Asabhara Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Tadera Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanebas
Andhra Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebas
Janame Janame Mora Abhilash
Janame Murari Abhilash
Ichhai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas
Echai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Jayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Jayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriyas.
Hari Naam Sankirtana ko hai Narottama Das.
Hari Naam Sankirtan Gohe Narottama Das.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Joy, joy. So really quickly, Hare Krishna. I just read Arun Prabhu. So there is one Sadhu Purush. His name is Raj Bhavan Yadav ji. So he's very supportive and he likes to kind of tune in. So he has left a comment saying, like, Hindi mein samjhao na. So he means like, explain something in Hindi. Huh? So I'll just take 2 or 3 lines and explain. I'll just summarize in Hindi. So राज भवन यादव जी, निष्कर्ष ये निकलता है, जो भी डिस्कशन या जो भी हमारा संघ है, महादेव पार्वती जी को कह रहे हैं, उमा कहूँ मैं अनुभव अपना, सत हरि भजन जगत सब सपना. इसका निष्कर्ष ये है कि संकीर्तन जो है वो हमें करना है. दैट इज़ आवर लाइफ. तो मेरी हिंदी भी कमज़ोर है, अंग्रेज़ी कमज़ोर है और बाकी सब चीज़ें कमज़ोर हैं, तो माफ़ करिएगा. अरुण प्रभु, इफ यू वांट टू ऐड.
प्रभु जी, क्या कहा जाए, मैं तो यही समझता हूँ कि हमारा भाग्य ये है कि हम इस तरह के ऑनलाइन संकीर्तन में भी भाग ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि कलयुग में भगवान ने स्वयं कहा है, ऋषियों ने कहा है, कलो नास्तो, देयर इज नो अदर वे, देयर इज नो. आप रामायण में पढ़ लीजिए, आप बाकी ग्रंथों में पढ़ लीजिए, सब एक ही चीज कहते हैं कि हरि स्मरण, हरि सुमिरन और हरि भजन इज the only way for the जीवात्मा को स्वयं को पहचानने के लिए और स्वयं का सनातन धर्म जानने के लिए और उस धर्म का प्रतिपादन करने के लिए केवल यहीं से शुरुआत हो सकती है। और कलयुग में तो केवल यही एक रास्ता बताया गया है।
हरे कृष्ण।
कि हमारी बुद्धि इतनी मंद होगी, हमारा भाग्य इतना दुर्भाग्यपूर्वक होगा, आयु इतनी कम होगी कि इतनी क्षमता ही नहीं रहेगी कि हम अपने शास्त्रों को ठीक से उच्चारण कर सकें। समझने की तो बात ही छोड़िए। तो जब इतनी अधोगति में है तो हम बाय डेफिनेशन सारे लोग कलयुग में मलेच्छ हैं। मलेच्छ ही रूप है उनका। और मलेच्छों को कोई उद्धार कर सकता है तो ऊपर से आनी कृपा कर सकती है, मलेच्छ खुद नहीं कर सकता। और ये कृपा की इच्छा रखने वाले नाम संकीर्तन से शुरू कर सकते हैं। ये मेरा जानना है, छोटा बहुत, और मेरे हृदय को छूता है। और मैंने अपनी आंखों से अपने खुद पे विज्ञान करके देखा है कि ये सत्य बात है। ये जो है assertion, that is true.
Jai Gurudev. Jai. Very happy to have your association and your blessings, Arun Prabhu, and everyone else, Sangeeta ji, and yeah, it is Guru Kripa that I have your association and your blessings. So we'll wrap it up. Jai Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. जय भगवान श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। विश्ववरेण्य ओम विष्णुपाद विश्ववरेण्य श्रील भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय। भक्त वृंद की जय, सेवा वृंद की जय। सोकैल श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत आश्रम की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय श्रील भक्ति पावन जनार्दन महाराज की जय। श्रील भक्ति निर्मल आचार्य महाराज की जय। सपार्षद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। सपार्षद श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। रूपनुग गुरुवर्ग की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। All the assembled devotees की जय। श्रीपाद अरुण कृष्ण प्रभु की जय। संगीता जी की जय। अनिल जी की जय। नंदरानी दीदी की जय। And all our Facebook friends and well-wishers and whoever else is watching and will watch and YouTube, sab ki jai. Please pardon my offenses. I am always trying to be at your service and whatever little that I can offer. And Nittai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
श्रीपद जयराम प्रभु की जय, अपा दीदी की जय, लवानिका दीदी की जय, नाथ प्रभु की जय, all the devotees की जय।